Good morning, day 28, and it's a little noisy where I am, so hopefully you can hear me. Lots of birds, lots of traffic. I'm in central Georgia where the sunrise time is a little bit earlier, and I'm on the road traveling with my mom, and we've stopped at a lovely rest area, and it really is lovely. So I'm still outside. I'm still able to do it, even on the road. I love it. And this little rest area came at just the right time. Thank you, God. So I'm just going to walk around here a little bit and talk a little bit louder. So maybe on your end, it might seem like I'm yelling, but I want to make sure that you can hear me. And as I was reflecting this morning, didn't have my sort of normal time with God, but man, I've read enough over the last couple of days. And my mom, I'm like a little version of my mom. So we have been having some deep theological conversations. So I've still been like going there, you know what I mean? But anyway, as I was writing yesterday after my little video, you know, a lot of times I'm able to solidify and think a little bit more deeply, and you know, talking and writing are two different things. And so sometimes when I'm writing after doing just a off the top of my head, like heart talk, to put it into words, sometimes new things will come out. And yesterday, even while I was talking, I mentioned the marriage principle. And as I've been reflecting on it the last 24 hours, I'm like, that really deserves its own like topic heading, I think, because I think there was a lot there. There was a lot there in the scroll. I kind of squished some things together there, two big ideas together, which are both super important principle type level thoughts on their own. But the marriage principle really, I think, deserves its own. So if we go back to even Genesis, where, you know, two shall become one flesh and leave the mother and father, they create a new unit. But as part of that, being able to create a new unit and be united as one, each one of them individually has to also make that shift in their identity. No longer am I this person on my own. I am identity shift this new part of this new thing over here. And that is like an immediate, you know, like when you do go through the ceremony, you put the ring on your finger, you say the vows. From that day forth, you go forward and you are that new person. There is no like, you know, you don't go out in the world all the time and go and really struggle with deciding not to date anymore, right? Or you don't have an argument and just break up anymore. At least that's the intent, right? We all know that in modern times, a lot of these things actually do happen, and the respect for marriage is not quite what it used to be in general. But what the intent and the principle is still the same. That has not changed. The intent is that marriage, when you take a marriage vow, it is for life. You are committed, and you do go out in the world and you behave differently. You don't, and decisions are already made. Like, you don't have to struggle. And when we even think about somebody who has maybe had an affair, we don't really say, yeah, well, they're married, and they only, you know, go, you know, out and be unfaithful, you know, once every 5 years, and still call that like a marriage that's fully intact, where everything has been honored about the commitment. We don't call that person, even though they are married, they're not committed in the same way that maybe somebody who has really respected those vows has, right? That has fully like, this is who I am, decision made, I am now this new thing. But principally, if we take that principle and we think about even our future self, our goals, what we want, and the identity shift that we have have access to this. Like we have evidence, we have proof. Those of us that have been married, or you have watched your parents be married, or other people, you know, a married person, they don't go out and struggle the same way. Even like friendships change when somebody gets married. You're not going out, you know, looking for people the same way with your friends anymore. And so things shift. There is an identity shift that everybody, that you yourself know, other people know. It's a done deal. That part, been there, done that. And you can do that with other parts of your life, whether it's with having a really bad habit of, you know, overeating, not exercising, not being fully committed in your career or vocation. You can apply this to lots of areas of your life. Whatever you're wanting to work on or own, that's my program, Own It. What do you want to own? There's always something that we can be working on and growing in. And how can you become unified with that idea? We talk a lot about cognitive dissonance out in the work, in the psychological and coaching world. That's when you're trying to live in two worlds at once. I'm rocking back and forth between two worlds. I'm straddling a fence, virtual fence right now. We haven't applied the marriage principle. We're over here flirting. We're still flirting. Do I want that? Do I want to be married? Is that really, we're like in the engagement phase. And a lot of us never get out of the engagement phase with the changes we want to make. We never like fully, even though we really do know that that's the way to go. That's the thing to be united with. That's the thing to make a union with, to become this new thing. And you won't make that commitment. You won't get married. And then you wonder why you're struggling for years or on this hamster wheel of that bad relationship. This is why we even use the analogy of a bad relationship or a bad boyfriend with some of our habits. Sorry, there's a big rig pulling out. This is why. So can you use the marriage principle and think about, like, you've been there, done that. You know what that life is like. You know what those people out there are like. You know that you want a lifetime of this over here. Make the commitment, make the leap, put the ring on your finger, do it already. And some people will stay in the struggle of like, it's so hard, I can't do it. Yeah, you can. People do it all the time. And you see it out in the world because there's an expectation. There's it just is. And you can do that with other areas of your life too. I'm preaching to myself here. I'm preaching to the choir because I find myself doing this because I love yummy food. I'm a foodie. I don't like being hungry. It's still how my husband and I bond, how I bond with lots of people in my life that I love. But, I either want what I want, or I'm still just flirting and still being engaged to the idea of it and not being committed to what it's really going to take to be this new unified with this thing that I say that I want, this person that I want to be, this future version of me that's going, hey, you need to put, you're not going to go hungry. I promise you, girl. Like, we can live on a few less calories and we will feel better. You have to trust me. You have to have faith. You have to commit. And even within a lifestyle of fitness and exercise, because I want to go hike the Grand Canyon one day. I want to be able to do that at 70 years old if I want. Well, if I really want that, I've got to bring it all together and be unified to create this new thing over here. And that takes a level of commitment, just like I have with my husband. So anyway, my mama is waiting on me. But did you see, no coat, no scarf, no gloves. Woohoo! I think I'm going to take a picture like this for my post as I write about this. Bye. See you tomorrow from